Hey everyone, welcome back to SFDC Panther. This is Amit, and in this video we are going to learn about Einstein Next Best Action. Einstein Next Best Action is basically to recommend the next possible action to the user based on certain strategies, based on certain criteria, or based on some business rules then that business does provide to us. Like based on this I wanted to see some action. So let's see what we have for today. We will see what NBA is, and then we will work on what NBA considerations are, like what are the considerations that we need to take care while we are working with NBA, and then how we can enable, and what are the things that are related to NBA that we will see all about those. We will talk about how we can create our first strategy using strategy builder, and then how we can use NBA in our lightning record pages. So let's start from NBA. So Einstein Next Best Action or NBA is basically to recommend a user for the best possible action. It is like we can recommend a right action to the right user at a right time. So for example, let's say that a user is on opportunity page, and the sales representative is constantly contacting to the customer and trying to convince that customer to get into the deal or to close the deal or to make the customer interested into our product. So we can create some kind of next best action which will let the sales representative know based on some business criteria that these are some possible combinations. You can provide some kind of discount, or you can say if you are going with these particular products, then we are going to provide this additional services to you. So these are actions we can provide, and this will definitely improve the performance of the user, not only the sales representatives but also the service representatives as well, while they are working with the customer to provide the best possible solutions for their problem if they do have any, or while assisting the customers. What are the NBA consideration? So while creating the NBA consideration, first thing that we need to have is we must need to have a flow that is required by all recommendations. If you don't have any flow, you cannot create a recommendation, and only recommendation who have active flag can be listed using strategies. The second point we are going to discuss more about while we are into the practical implementation. All the flow which are inactive or active and of type screen flow will be available while we are creating recommendations. We will see what we are talking about. Recommendation is a standard object which is used to store the recommendations. That means when you enable Einstein Next Best Action, you will get this standard object available for you. And then we have strategies. So strategies are the key concept here. We can say with the help of strategies we can load the recommendation into the system or into the record page, and then we can display while we wanted to filter some Einstein Next Best Actions, we wanted to generate some additional next best action, we wanted to do some enhancement, we can do all those things into our strategies. And as you can see, there is a third point, strategies loads only recommendation that are based on active flows. So if you suppose that you have created some recommendations and few of recommendations are using inactive flow, those are not active. While creating the recommendation, you will be able to create with the help of inactive flow, but while using those inside the strategies, you will be only getting those strategies which are active, which are related to the active flow. So now let's quickly talk about how we can create the recommendation. So we will see how we can enable, and then we will see how to get this recommendation object if that is not available into environment. And then what we need to do is we need to create one custom picklist field, that is category, and then we are going to also create a number field, that is order, so that we can order our recommendation based on this number field, and we can also do some group by if we wanted to do with the help of that category field. So let's quickly see how we can do that. So this is our Salesforce environment, where what you need to do is you just need to type here next best action, and you will see this particular UI for you to create strategies. So I have created one strategy. I will create a new one to show you how we can load the recommendations. Now next thing that we need to do is, before we go ahead and create a strategy and create recommendation, what we need to do is we need to have a we need to check if that recommendation tab is available to us or not. So for that, what we need to do is quickly go to profile. I'm going to click here on visit the profile. So as our current profile, I believe everyone's profile should be system administrator. So I'm going here on system administrator, and then what we need to do is we need to go to the object permissions. If you have enhanced profile, you will you just need to click on edit and then go to the find the tab on that is recommendation, and then provide the permission there. So for here, what we need to do is we need to find recommendation, that is the name of our object, and here, yep, here it is. So you can see that we don't have any permission for the recommendation. So just click on this, and we need to figure out either we have given the permission that or not. So yep, we have given all permission here. The tab is also default on. So if you are in the previous version of your profile, you will get here, and if you are on the enhanced version of the profile, then you need to edit your profile and turn the tab setting of your recommendation object on, and also make sure that you have given the permission whatever the field is or available there. So next thing that we were talking about is to create a custom field. So we are going to recommendation object here. Now we have got this recommendation. We are going to create this object, and we have fields and relationship. So I've just created a field called order, but there is one more field that we are going to create, is that is category of pick list type. So we are going to select here a pick list field. Yep, here it is. And then after let's name it as category. We're going to provide here some let's say that we can say discount, or we can say it might be some kinds of sales, service, or we can also provide some development. You can put categories as per your so I'm just putting all those here. I'm on checking this checkbox. And make sure that you provided the permission to the required profile that you wanted to use there, so that they can get access, and also add that field to the layout. Now we have created recommendation object and recommendation fields what we want. We created the fields that we wanted. Next thing is that what we need to do is we need to go to the recommendation tab as we already have. So we just need to find out from the app launcher, just find the here recommendations, and then we need to create few recommendation here. So for creating few recommendation, I already have few that are two, I think. Yep, we do have two. So I'm going to create few more here. So let's quickly create new, and here we are going to say what we will say here. Let's say that I'm going to say here discount 5%. Description that we can provide here is I'm still giving the description same as name here. If you can provide some images here, you can upload some images. So I'm going to upload, if I do have some image, I'm going to upload this. For now this is just a simple image. You can provide some valid image here. You can provide some order. I wanted to as a 100 numbers. You can select from category, it is for discount. This is the acceptance label. What this label is doing, so let's say that I'm going to say avail it. I'm going to say avail it. That means if a user is accepting this recommendation, that user needs to click on this button. And I'm going to say that rejection label, we can say that not interested. So you can click on this. This is something like save and cancel. And then we have got action. This action is basically required an active or inactive flow, and that is a screen flow. So if you click here, you can see that I do have multiple flows. There is account flow, I do have a clone opportunity, I do have employee information, student information, I have a flow called survey, and then I do have validate phone. And I'm not sure how many of them are active and inactive, but what we do is, before going ahead, let's quickly create a flow here. And okay, let's quickly go to flow, and we have got flows under process automation category. We will go there, and here you can see that there are few survey that are not active. You can see employee information and survey information. So even these two flows are also there. Why these flow are also there? Because these are active. And even we can have I made a wrong statement there. Any kind of flow can be available there. Either it is a screen flow or it is an auto launch flow, but a flow is must required. Now let's quickly what we need to do is, for now, just for a demo purpose, what we will do is we will create a flow called discount flow, and then we will make it as a screen flow. Create it, and I'm going to say, I'm going to just put a simple screen. I'm going to name it as discount flow, and here I'll just put a display text flow discount, and I'm going to put it this is SIM simple flow. Now let's quickly click on done. Let's attach this, save this. Now we just need to save it, and now we have option either we wanted to activate it or not. So let's quickly activate it. Now we have got one more flow. Get back here on the recommendation screen. What we are going to see is, and what we are going to do is, we are going to create few recommendations, and we will see how it does work. So again, we will say it as discount 5%, and then I'm not going to provide any image now. For now, I'm going to say it avail it, not interested. And for this, I'm going to select discount flow. I'm going to save a new, create one more, and I will say discount 10% here. Again, category should be 2, acceptance level, avail it again, and now say not interested. For this, I'm going to select this clone opportunity flow, which is not active. You can see here it is not active, and that's okay. We are going to create one more discount flow, that is 15%, and order, let's make it as 3, category discount, not needed. I'm going to make it as not needed, and this time I'm going to select discount flow as well. Now let's save it. So if we go back to our recommendation object, we have got now how many? We can see, I believe 5. We have got 5 recommendations where one recommendation is having an inactive flow. So now let's quickly get back to our presentation, and then we will move forward here. So what we did is we made recommendations available to us using a profile level permission. Then we created 2 custom fields, we created a flow, and then we created few recommendation, some using inactive flow and some using active flows. Now what strategy builder is? This is some kind of a builder that we can say it looks like same as flow builder that we've just seen, where we can develop our strategies, and these are some of the elements. There are multiple elements that we are going to cover in further sessions, but here in this video we are going to only mainly focus on load. We can have filter, and we have output, and we have sort. So load is basically for fetching the data from recommendation and then return all the recommendation. So this is basically if we talk about in terms of programming, we can talk about load is basically making a SQL query on recommendation and fetch all the recommendations. Then filter is used for filtering some recommendation. If you wanted to filter, we can filter it either using dynamic, or we can filter it with some kind of static values. And then this is the output. Output is basically writing the recommendation and displaying into the component. And again, it is only going to display those recommendations that are associated with active flows. And sort is basically sorting the orders of our recommendation, in which order we actually wanted to display those recommendations. So this is all about strategy builder. We do have multiple elements that we will discuss, that we already said. Now it's show time. So what we did till now is a quick recap. We made recommendation available, we created flow, we created some fields on recommendation object, and then we had created few recommendation record. Now it's time to create a strategy builder and then use it inside some either opportunity or account layout. So here again we need to type next best action. We have account strategy. I am going to create an strategy for opportunity object, because we are going to use the discount flow on opportunity object. So once you will click new here, you can see that the flow builder is strategy builder is basically looking like flow builder. So we are going to say that if opportunity strategy, it is going to auto populate, and here we need to select the object. So which object we wanted to develop the strategy, that is opportunity. So we need to select the appropriate object here. You wanted to put some description, you can put here, click on done. Now we have done. Here you can see that there is only single element, that is called output. First step is to load the strategy. We are going to load here. We will say that load all recommendations. What we wanted to load, that is recommendation, definitely. Here we are storing our recommendations. How we can filter here? At least one filter is required. So what we will say is, we will say that ID, we will say recommendation ID is not equal to null. Definitely no recommendation is ID is going to be null. If you wanted to provide few more, you can put more as well. And then you have sort recommendation records. How you are going to sort? So we do have an order ID field here. Sorry, that is an order field. Where is that? Yep, here it is, order. We'll say that I wanted to do it in a descending way. Okay, let's quickly save it. Now we have got load all recommendations, and then we have got output. In between, if you wanted to put a filter here, you can see that we have got recommendations, we have got recommendation logic, we have got branch logic. Now in this video we are going to work with load, filter and sort, and then we are going to work with map, limit reoffers, enhance, generate, and all 3 elements as well in going forward lectures. So now if you wanted to put a filter here, you can put a filter. And what kind of filter we wanted to put here? Let's quickly have a, let's say that if I wanted to filter if the name is not equals to validation validate phone. So I'm going to put a filter, I'm going to say and not validate phone. It is saying that all criteria met. We have got advanced where we can put some formulas as well. We will see in the next lecture how we can use the formula, but here we have got all conditions met. We are going to say recommendation object, then we have got name, and we will say not equals to, we have got this value, that is validate phone. Now let's quickly save it. And what we need to do is, as we need to put a filter after loading the record, we just need to rearrange. Where you wanted to rearrange, you can just quickly drag and drop and you can rearrange it. Now we have got filter. Again we were talking about sorting. We can sort it by, we can just sort by order. Even although we ordered while we were loading the recommendations, but we can do again here. We do have, remember where we should we used descending, here we are going to use ascending here. Now let's quickly see, either we wanted to allow all recommendations or we wanted to select how many number of recommendations we wanted to display. So we will select the first one. Now we have got this, so we are going to map this, and again this is going to map here. Now again a quick recap, we listed all the recommendation, we put a filter here, we sorted those, and then we are displaying those. Let's quickly save it. Okay, we have got some error, looks like there is a problem. The formula has a syntax error, formula found validate. Okay, which is that one? Not valid. Okay, this is the phone number we have got. Okay, fee, okay, name not equal to, okay, it should be inside double quotes, that's why we are getting. Now let's click on done, save it. It should not be, yep, now we are able to save it. If you wanted to test it, definitely you do have an option to test it. How you can test this? If you will click here, it will ask which opportunity record you wanted to select for testing it. Let's say that I'm just selecting this, and you will see that there are 4 recommendation available. One is discount 5%, one is discount 10%, and one is account record demo, and we have got discount 15%. But if you notice that the discount validate phone is not here, and even we are getting this discount 10%, which is associated with an inactive flow. So as we are testing it here, we will see how it is going to work in a live. So now we just saved it. Okay, we will talk about manager and inspector later on in this video only, but before we do that, let's quickly see how we can test this strategy or this recommendation. Now let's quickly get back to opportunity record, because we created that in opportunity object. Open any opportunity here, and then again I'm going to edit this page. Okay, now here if you see on the left hand side, we have got Einstein Next Best Action, a component here. You just need to do a drag and drop. We are doing, okay, I'm going to remove rest of the things I don't need. Now you have got this here, we have got Einstein Next Best Action, whatever the title you wanted to give here. If you wanted to hide the Einstein header, you can hide that as well. I don't want to hide that. Which strategy you wanted to use? So we do have opportunity. I'm going to use that opportunity one. And then how many number of recommendation you want to display? I'm going to select 4. And then here if you wanted to show the title, you wanted to launch flow on rejection as well, you can do whatever you wanted to do. These are the different options available. Now I'm going to quickly save it, and if it is prompting for you also to activate the page, please go ahead and activate the page. And I'm going to make it as org-wise default, but if you wanted to make available it for some users or some particular application, you can do that as well. So I'm going to make it as org default and I will save it. Now the activation has been changed. Again I'm going to save it and click back here, and once this time we will be able to see our Einstein Next Best Action on the right hand side of our component here as well. Okay, we are able to see it. We have got discount 10% as well. This clone opportunity, okay, this is active. Okay, that's why we are able to see that. We will try to create one more recommendation, that is employee information here, and then we will see. So for now here, let's get back here. That's why we are able to see this 10% one, sorry 10%. That's why we are able to see. Now if you click anyone for the discount one, you can see the label has been changed as accepted, and we are able to see our flow here. You might have different logic here, you can do that, but we just put simple and it is going to close. Now we have got accepted. You wanted to reject, it is going to reject, and as we selected that checkbox launch flow on rejection, that's why we are able to see here the flow as well. Now let's talk about this discount 10%. What we are going to do is now we are going to select employee information that is inactive, and to see if that is available there or not on the screen here, whatever the screen we are testing it. So let's I think we are on the wrong place. We need to find out recommendations. So let's quickly find recommendations. This is the one. We are going to edit this, and we are going to make the change on the flow label that is employee information, which is now inactive. Okay, now let's go back to refresh the page. Boom, you can see that here. Now we are not able to see that recommendation here. That's because that is associated with an inactive flow, but while creating recommendation we are able to see that. So this is it for this video. In the next video we are going to talk more about Einstein Next Best Action. Thank you. If you do have any questions, please feel free to put down into the comment section, and please do like, share and subscribe the channel. Thank you.